Zero Senpai, and sorry for not posting. Stuff has been happening, so sorry. And I will not be continuing the Fire and Iron Dragon Slayer because I haven't been posting, so I forgot all about it. Everything about it almost, and I don't feel like watching the videos over again because, as you probably know, they're all close to an hour. But yes, let's continue with this what if, or start this what if. As you guys can see, it's a what if Deku was in a zombie apocalypse, so let's go. As Inko, we're gonna start off when Deku was in a quirk doctor. As soon as he gets told he is quirkless, alright? He is quirkless, no quirk during a zombie what if. Because I feel like doing this. I want to make him a bad ASS, if you know what I mean. Without a quirk, you know. But let's continue. As he gets told that, he's shocked and does the same as Canon. But there's something different. Inko is different. She isn't the kind and loving Inko. But Izuku thinks she is. Everyone thinks she is. Because she's always been like that. The only people that know that she's not like that are Hisashi, who is dead, and a few of her friends, which 3 of them are dead, and only, sorry about the stuff, I'm fixing my headphones. Yeah, those guys are dead. Except for like 4 of her friends. But yeah, and you guys will see why they're all dead in a little while here. As Inko's mind is going through and thinking, dang it, he's quirkless. I was so hoping just to live off of his spoils when he becomes a pro, or when he became a pro. But I guess I can't now. Let's take out the trash in a little bit. As that's what she's thinking in her mind. As they leave the hospital and they get in their car and drive off. As we're gonna say, so it doesn't look suspicious, Inko waits a whole 2 years and acts nice. In the last half a year, she starts being mean to him. But at this point, Izuku is scared of Inko, and Izuku is also about about 6.5, I believe. Yes, 6.5. Give me a second. Ugh, stupid burps. As after that time, Izuku gets up and he's like, more school. I wish my life was better, but I guess I don't have a choice. As he had been getting bullied and everything by his friends, and then Inko started being mean, so he lost his support pillar, but he was still fighting through it. Of course, if he were to deal with this for another half a year to a year, he would end it, if you know what I mean by end it. But yeah, as Izuku, and someone's opening the door. Sorry guys about the interruption, but let's continue. Forgot where I was at, but I have an idea where I was at. But yeah, as Izuku, he gets up and gets ready for school, thinking, what a life. As he's ready, and he goes to Inko, and he's like, Mom, it's time to go to school. As his mom has to drive him to school and everything, and she's like, yeah, I know. Don't be telling me what to do, brat. Yes, Mother. Sorry. Don't call me Mother. Also, forgot about that. So, you're supposed to call me Inko when you're not around other people. Got it, brat? Yes. Sorry. My throat. Yes, Inko. Okay. We're taking a different route to school today. As in her mind, she's thinking, well, it's been about 1.5 years, 2.5 years, I mean, and, I can finally take out the trash, because there's probably not going to be much suspicion behind it. As they get in the car and drive for a bit until it's nighttime. As Zuko's like wondering, like, Mom, why are we still out? I mean, it's been like it's been the whole day. Literally, it's dark out. I thought we were supposed to go to school. Izuku, don't call me Mom. It is Inko. Got it? Sorry, but why aren't we going to school? Oh, don't worry, honey. Mommy had to run... Not Mommy. Inko had a few errands to run. That's all. Don't worry about it. As they come to a bridge, and she's like, let's go take a look at the water. As Zuko does see this as suspicious, but he gets out anyways, and walks over to the edge with Inko, and we're gonna say the wall. It is 3 foot tall, and Zuko, I don't know how tall a 3-year-old would be, not 3-year-old, 6.5-year-old would be. My brother's like that. He's not, so, I'll say that he's like 3'1", but it's not enough to see over the wall. So Inko's like, oh, I bet you can't see. Want me to give you a lift? As Zuko's like, yeah, sure. As she feels suspicious and like, I don't know what's going on. As Inko's giving him a lift, but instead of putting him on the edge, she pushes him over the side, right over the bridge. Because no one was looking at that point. As he falls and hits the water, and gets swept away. A few days later, he is actually found on a bank, like washed up, but he's found by a frog-looking man that is standing over him, and he picks him up and checks his pulse and everything. He has a pulse, but it's really weak. As he takes him to a hospital and gets him checked out and everything. And then, like, the hospital calls Inko and tells him his son's over here, and like, oh, ma'am, your son's over here, and he's in pretty bad condition. You should probably come down here now and make sure he's, like, come and check on him. We think he's gonna survive, but he still isn't in good condition. As Inko's like, I'll be down soon. Please make sure he's okay. As she hangs up, it's like, ugh, why? Why does this have to happen to me? As she pushes a wall, and she's like, why couldn't the brat just die? I was finally rid of him, and now I'm going to wait more time in order to get rid of that brat? Ugh. As she walks away and gets into her car and drives to the hospital. She is mad, but she's like, gotta keep my composure. Gotta pretend like I love that brat. As she gets there and heads in and sees a frog-looking man, and she was told to look for a frog-looking man. As she walks over to him and says, by the way, when I say frog-looking man, like, think about like Froppy, but as a guy, okay? But a lot older. As she walks over to the guy and it's like, sir, are you the man I'm supposed to see? I'm Inko Midoriya, the mother of Izuku Midoriya. Oh, yes, that's me, sorry. Come with me, the doctors told me to bring you to the room when you came. As she's walking, she's like, how did my son even end up here? I didn't even know he was gone. Well, I actually found him down by a bank, laying on the ground. Looked like he washed up from the water. And I brought him to the hospital, and they were able to save him. And she's like, what? As she's actually saying, what about, oh crap, this guy saved him? Ugh, dang it. To get this guy back sooner or later. But the guy thinks that she's saying what to, like, why was her son out there? And she's like, don't worry, ma'am. Your son's gonna be okay. As they get to the hospital room, and Izuku's laying on the bed, and he's passed out still, as Inko runs over and hugs him. He says, my baby, he's okay. As she lets out fake tears, because she's good at acting. As when the doctor walks in, she says, ma'am, listen, you can take your son home now, but you need to keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't have any, well, trauma from the water. Because we don't know what could have happened. And for all we know, someone could have pushed him in, but where he was pushed in at had no cameras, and whoever did it was smart about it. But make sure that you get him home, and make sure that you keep him away from the water for a few days, except for when he has to drink it out of cups. But tubs of water, lakes, oceans, basically anything that is as big as a tub or bigger, keep him away from it. As she's like, yes, sir. As she takes him home, and I'm gonna skip it like a month, okay? As one day at, let's say, his home, the police actually got a little bit suspicious of Inko, so they actually had a surveillance person on and keeping an eye on them. As every day he would report back, every week he would report back unless he saw something big happen. And he told them how a few times he saw him getting abused, but he might have been getting punished, he wasn't sure. And, stuff like that. As then one day, the person that has to keep an eye on them sees the mom, getting talked to by his son, and she's like, he's like, Mom, is it okay if I go hang out with not hang out, is it okay if I go and hang out in the woods or something? As the mother looks at him and says, that's the last straw. That's the last straw, mister. I've told you not to call me mother. As she gets up and takes off her belt. And before you guys know what's going to happen, but she kicks him down, like by his face, lifts her legs up and kicks him in the face, knocking him down, and starts hitting him with the belt. As the guy sees this, and he's like, I can't just do nothing. As he actually sees a hero walking on the road near the house, as he runs over to the hero, and I'm gonna say this is Ingenium, okay? As the guy that's watching him says, hey, Mr. Ingenium, there's a boy being really badly abused in that house over there. As Ingenium's like, what? As he speeds up, blitzes over there and looks inside and sees a boy getting hit with a belt. As he bursts down the door and runs in and pushes the mother away and picks up Izuku. As Izuku, he's crying and like, Mom, why would you do that? As he's actually bleeding, and we're gonna say that she was also like kicking him in the face and all that, so we'll say that she gave him a scar, I think Zoro from One Piece has a scar going down his eye. I don't know. But, think about, if you've ever seen Kirishima's scar on his eyelash, or whatever it was, think about that, but a lot larger, and it's going from about a little bit past the middle of his forehead, down to close to his cheek. Think about a scar. I just realized something. I'll edit that out later. That's a picture of me in the background. Holy crap. That was, whoops. I hope I can edit that out. Let me just... Oh crap. You guys didn't see anything, okay? I'm gonna edit that out or something. Okay, sorry. This is supposed to be the background. Oof, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Oh no. Oh no. But, okay, let's continue. Give me a second, let me think. Oh yeah, he has a scar down his face like I was just explaining. Now, except it's not a scar, it's a blood mark, cut. And Jenny was like, "Ma'am, why would you do this to your son? How dare you? You shouldn't be abusive like that. He's your own son." Oh my goodness, I clicked out of it again. "He's your own son. How could you?" Huh. "That little maggot, my son?" No, that's not what she says. She's like, "Oh, I was punishing him because he was bullying other kids at school. He was bullying other kids. So I had to teach him a lesson." I don't know if I can believe you or not, but if he was bullying kids, the right way to go would have been to punish him with maybe a spanking or taking something away from him, but not beating him and kicking him with a belt. "You're coming with me." And she's like, "No, I'm not." As she tries to run off, and Jenny can't catch her because a child's in her arms, in his arms. But as she's trying to run out, the detective guy actually catches her and pushes her to the ground and takes out some handcuffs and handcuffs her. As they head down to the police station and they get informed, like, not informed, but they inform everyone about what's going on, like the people that had the spy watching, or the detective or whatever. And as everyone finds out, Inko has a court trial after a few days. As Zuko, he's actually coping, and he isn't talking to anyone, he isn't eating, because he's confused and sad that his mother just beat him, because, like, he's been beaten before, but not that bad, and he has a huge cut down his face now, so he actually has to have it bandaged up, so he can only see half, you know? And as he's like laying there on the bed and, thinking, a man walks in and says, "Listen, Izuku," or a girl walks in, let's say, "Listen, Izuku, we have to go. We have your mother's trial going on, about to happen, and we need you there as, well, evidence, or as a witness, or as the victim. Defense. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna say that he's I forgot what you call it. I can't remember if he'd be the defense. No, he wouldn't be the defense. He would be the person that's trying to convict the person, Inko's would be the defense, trying to defend herself, As Inko didn't actually have enough money to pay herself for a lawyer or anything. But Izuku, they decided, we'll get him a lawyer. As Izuku's like, "Oh, okay." As he gets up and walks over to her, and she's like, "Okay, let's get you ready." As she takes off his bandages on his face and replaces it with a new one. And he gets changed after she pulls off some clothes for him. As he's actually, let's say he's in the lady's house, okay? She's a person that takes care of children for some people sometimes. And she wanted to take care of, the boy. As, well, they head to the place and they arrive at a courthouse, and they walk in, and Izuku gets told to stand, over at one of the desks, because, they have, like, two desks, and then there's a bunch of people in the back, and you have the person that's trying to decide if it's guilty or non-guilty, and then you have the jury and everything. But yeah, I think that's how that works. But as Izuku sits down, and the guy that's his lawyer is like, "Listen, I'll get you out of this and make sure you'll be okay. We'll make sure that you don't have to deal with your mother ever again, okay?" Yes, sir. Thanks. As he does want to get away from Inko, he's sad that he has to leave her, but he's also happy because he's sad because he still loves her, because all the years she was nice to him, and you know how naive Izuku can be sometimes. But yeah, as they start, and the judge lists off some of the stuff. Okay. Here's what we have on this woman right here. Well, the main reason she's here is because she was caught beating her son really bad, and he was actually beaten so bad that he now has a permanent scar down his face. And he also could barely stand afterwards. And we aren't sure yet, but he could be blind in that one eye. That's the main reason why she's here. But something else has come to fruition. Apparently, young Izuku over here, the boy that was being beaten, had been pushed or fell off of somewhere. And we found that it was most likely, we're going to say let's call it an Allegheny Bridge. I'm not sure where that actually is, but I'm just going to say it's in Japan, okay? I don't actually know any bridges in Japan, and I just thought of the Allegheny Bridge, if there is an Allegheny Bridge. But whatever. As Izuku, he gets, as the judge is like, well, if it's that, there's also something else. The father of Izuku had fallen off the same bridge and died, along with 3 of Inko Midoriya's friends. That same exact bridge. The evidence is really pointing towards that Inko Midoriya killed her husband and 3 of her closest friends. As Inko's like, what? No, I didn't. I didn't do anything like that. How could you people? Why would you think I would kill my own husband? As she starts fake crying, and she's like, the man's like, I can tell you're fake crying. I was meant to deal with this kind of stuff. Don't even. As she's like, I'm not fake crying. I don't know if that sounded like a laugh or a cry. Sorry. But as she's crying, fake crying, Izuku's asked to come and stand up by the judge. You know, that little podium they have next to the judge's stand. As Izuku gets up there, and the judge is like, listen, son. And by the way, sorry. This is getting really long, and I don't know if I'll get into the zombie part of this in this episode, but it's taking a little while. Sorry. Excuse me. Listen, son. You have to tell me the full truth of everything. If you want to stay away from that woman, you have to. And trust me, she won't ever be able to hurt you again. 'Cause if this stuff ends up being true, she'll be in jail for a long time. As he's like, okay, sir. As Izuku, he gets asked, so, how long has this been going on? You getting beaten? As Izuku's like, well, it's been going on for a very long time. Like, well, it actually started about 8 months ago, I think. And it wasn't bad at first, and it got worse and worse, and this time it was the worst one I ever got. She used a belt, cause she used a belt and hit me and kicked me and all sorts of other things, because I called her mom. As everyone's a little bit shocked, and the judge is like, what do you mean because you called her mom? Isn't that your mother? Yes, but she tells me that if I call her mom, I'll be punished. She says a brat like me doesn't deserve to have a mother like her. As they keep going, and we'll just skip the whole thing, and Inko is charged as guilty for beating up Izuku and all that. And she is actually charged with the murder of Hasashi Midoriya and 3 others. We'll say it's like Ray. No, okay, let's say one person's name is Ray. Another person's name is Ryan, and another person is Mikasa, okay? Those three were killed by Inko, and she goes to jail. She'll be in jail for a long time, a lifetime sentence. But yeah, as Izuku, he's taken in by the same girl that was watching him, and the girl's like, I'll adopt him. Now, time, and ever since that happened, Izuku didn't want to ever be picked on again. So he started training, and like, when I say training, we'll say it's been 3 years, and he's been training as hard as he was in canon. So we'll say that, if you look at Asta's muscles from Black Clover, think about his muscles, but not as strong, like not enough to, do what he does, just he looks as strong as that. He has those kind of muscles, just not, actually that strong. Or toned down a little bit, actually, but he's just really strong, let's say. But he's still quirkless, and he can't plan to become a hero anymore, because he decided, oh, well, I kind of have a little bit of an interest in swordplay, as he'd been practicing with a sword for a long time. And we're going to say the time skip has been 3 years, I believe I said. So at this point, he'd be 10. Holy crap. No! Holy freaking crap. He can't be that strong at 10 years old. OP much, right? So we'll say it was actually a time skip of 7 years, okay? It's a long time, but yeah. Which I believe at this point he'd be 14, I think. If I'm correct. 13 or 14. Well, I'll say it's 14. As he's that strong and he's been training with a sword for a long time. As he's gotten close to the person that took him in, close enough to call her mother. And he is actually happy to be with his mother, as he likes to call her. As one day, he's at school, and it's a different school than Bakugo, because it's far away from Bakugo's school. Even far away from UA, because the woman was actually staying in a house that was given to her while she was taking in Izuku, until she actually adopted him. But one day at school, Izuku's sitting in class, and he's like, today's really boring. Can't wait to get out of school. Gotta do some training later, and all that other crap. But, yeah, gotta go to my kendo practice. I believe that's what one type of swordplay is called. I hope I'm right. Sorry if I'm wrong for those kendo people out there, by the way, I'm not talking about kendo from Class 1B, by the way. I'm talking about kendo, like, I feel stupid now for trying to figure out, all that crap. But yeah, as Izuku is sitting there, and he hears a noise, so he doesn't hear a noise, it becomes lunch, and in his school, during lunch, you're allowed to go wherever you want. So he gets up, and he walks off, and he decides to go outside on a railing, and I'm taking some of this stuff from High School of the Dead, so a little bit from the High School of the Dead. As he's leaning over the railing outside, and he's thinking, today's been really boring. As he looks down and, excuse me, as he looks down and sees someone trying to get inside the school, as some of the teachers walk up to him and it's like, listen, mister, you gotta get off our property. This isn't somewhere where you can just be messing around like you are now. As the gym teacher, I believe it was, I can't remember if it was, his name was Mr. Yamanaka, I can't remember, I believe that was his name, but let's call him Mr. Yamanaka. Mr. Yamanaka reaches to the thing and pulls the guy in and slams against the gate and says, listen, get off our property right now, this isn't somewhere for you to be messing around right now. People like you need to get off our property. As the thing that's all like looking weird, as he goes, the guy's like, hey, looks down at the arm and bites into it, and the gym teacher, Mr. Yamanaka's like, ow, what the? And he actually does swear. He throws the F-bomb around, but I'm not going to say that, at least not yet. Give it like 1 more year and I'll go into swearing and stuff. But if I do swear in those kind of videos, I will put swearing at the beginning of my videos, so you'll be able to tell if that one has swearing or not, in case you don't like it. But right now, I'm not going to do anything like that. But by the way, I refuse to do any 18 plus content. If I were to do something like that, I'd say, they did it, but I wouldn't actually go any further. I just said they did it, I'll be like, oh, they're studying. That can mean sometimes. But yeah, at least if you're older. But whatevs. But as, I forgot where I'm at. Oh yeah, never mind. Figured it out. As the guy's on the ground, Mr. Yamanaka's on the ground. One of the science teachers, which is a girl, runs over to him and says, Mr. Yamanaka, are you okay? She looks over to the other guy standing over there and says, go get the school nurse, now! As, Mr. Yamanaka starts getting up and jumps on the woman and bites her neck. And not in a bad way. No. Quit with the dirty minds. I'm having fun today. I don't know why. I'm extra happy today. But yeah. As he bites her neck and rips off a chunk of meat and starts eating her. Oh my goodness, I'm making this sound weird. But whatever. Starts eating her. And the guy runs into school and it's like, it runs in and he's about to go to the nurse's office, but we're gonna go back to Deku's perspective. As Deku's like, oh crap. As he runs inside, and in this one, there's no lover's quarrel, and no one's gonna actually survive with him getting out of that place. So yeah. We're gonna say that, excuse me. We're gonna say that he runs into his classroom and tells everyone, listen, this is gonna sound really, really crazy, but some guy just started eating one of the teachers out there. As everyone starts laughing, he says, dude, nice joke. Quirkless loser, why do you keep on making these jokes? Shut up, as one of the bullies say. You're not even funny. And one of the other kids yell, yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're not even fun. I'm trying to do a girl voice, but my throat's hurting. Yeah, you're not even funny. So stop it. No one even likes you, so why don't you just go away? As he's like, fine. As he runs off and he goes into a room where they actually teach swordplay. And we're gonna say that the gym teacher, the main person, actually left a real sword there. As he's actually about to grab one of the wooden ones, but he sees a real sword on the wall. He goes over and he's like, this will work fine. As he picks it up and he's like, I don't know what's going on. No, he doesn't go there because he's not gonna do anything. As he runs off and he's like, I gotta get out of this. Or no, he's like, I gotta go to the principal's office and tell him. As he's about to run to the principal's office, but before he can actually leave, the principal's office mic comes on and the principal is screaming. He's like, students. I'll pause this real quick. As the principal starts talking to students, this is going to sound really crazy, but there's been some kind of virus or something, I'm not sure, but the government has issued everyone to evacuate the school. People have started eating others. If you see someone that's walking around and grunting a little bit, stay away from them and run. As then they start hearing, no! As they start hearing noises, and the principal's like, what's that? As they hear a crash, and he's like, no! Get away from, no! Ah, no! As the mic goes silent, and all you hear is, like, when, think of a radio when it's on a staticky noise, that. As everyone's like, huh, what? It's like one of the kids are like, what? As everyone starts freaking out, just like in High School of the Dead, and starts running around like maniacs and everything like that. As Izuku, he's like, I told you so. But this is worse than I thought. People aren't eating each other and able to eat others. What is it? It's almost like a... No, it can't be. As he runs off and he runs into a kendo room. As he's actually going to grab one of the wooden swords. But as he grabs one, he looks up and sees a sword on the wall with a sheath on it. He's like, I wonder if that's real. As he runs over and picks it up and unsheathes it, it's a real sword. If you guys want pictures of any kind of sword you want, but I'm probably going to use a katana or something like that. But use whatever sword you guys want to picture as. But yeah, as Izuku, he gets up after grabbing the sword, or runs out of the room, and just like in High School of the Dead, people are running all over the place, and there are zombies in places, and people eating each other. As he's like, what the H-bomb is this? And he's like, I gotta get out of here. Fast. I gotta go make sure Mother's okay. As he starts fighting his way through the school, and he tries not to kill anyone, because he doesn't know if this is an actual thing that can't be cured, so he's running, and then he runs out into a, section pass, where he's actually technically on the roof, but not on the roof. But he goes, and he starts running, and gets on the very top of the roof, as he's thinking, of course I'd end up on the roof, because all the exits were blocked with a lot of zombies, or people that were crowded together, and that wouldn't have been such a good idea. But he's like, I have to find a way to get out of here. And he's looking around, and there's actually a next door place, and there's a fence between the school, and he's very close to the fence, and there's a pool on the other side with a house near it. He's like, I guess this is my best chance. As he backs up as far as he can, all of a sudden he starts hearing pounding at the door of the roof, and it breaks open, and zombies start rushing out as he sees some of his classmates, and then he's like, oh, what the H-bomb is this? As he lets out a few tears, but then he's like, no, I gotta get out of here. As he runs and jumps into the pool. As he gets out of the pool and heads over to the house, and he opens it and locks the door, and he's like, hello? Is anyone home? As he starts hearing stomp, 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 and then stop. And he's like, what was that? As someone comes walking down the stairs, and they're like, oh, hi, who are you? And he's like, something bad's happening. People are eating each other. I don't know what's going on. It's the lady's like, well, I know people are eating each other. Cannibals, right? As actually, this person's a cannibal. A living cannibal. Not a zombie. A living cannibal. And she's like, the world is finally tilting in my favor. Us cannibals can now rule the world. We can eat human meat and not get convicted. Grilled meat, boiled eyeballs, roasted tongue. Oh, ooh, blood. Oh, now, gimme your body. Not in a weird way, but in a horrible way, as she charges at him. She's like, what? As he's like, I can't kill. What am I supposed to do? As she's about to attack him and slit his throat to kill him and then take him and cook him up. But he's like, okay. As he turns the sword onto the flat end of the sword, and think of it, oh my goodness. Think of it as like if you see a katana, it has a flat end and a sharp end. you could, if you're picturing a katana, she hits him with a flat-ended that. If you're picturing a regular sword with two sharp sides, picture the flat side of the blade. Like, you know how the sword goes straight up and down? One of the, like, longer, about, I think it'd be like half an inch or an inch long, wide, you know, that part, whatever it's called. Or the blunt of the sword, like the handle, you know, one of the three. But he hits her with the sword as she falls to the ground unconscious. Oh my goodness, I keep calling him a she. He hits him pretty hard, and after she hits him, oh my goodness. After he hits him pretty hard, after he hits her pretty hard with the sword, she collapses to the ground. He's like, I gotta get out of here. As in this one, Izuku, he knows how to drive. Let's say that his mother or his stepmother taught him how to drive. So he goes in, he opens the door, and he sees a car, and picture the car that Sam and Dean drive from the movie or show, I forgot what it's called. Oh yeah, Supernatural. The show Supernatural, that car. But that's the car, except it's a dark green. As he takes the car and he's like, I don't know how to open the garage. It's one of those electric ones, but you need a button for it and stuff. And he's like, I don't care at this point. As he turns on the car, because the keys are in there, and hits the thing to go forward, hits the gas pedal and busts through the door of the garage and drives out of the place as he starts heading to his mother's house. And as he's going, he's trying to get there, but there's tons of explosions and people killing each other and eating and all this other stuff happening all around him. As he's going and he sees a little girl running from some zombies, and he's like, it's just a little girl. As he's like, I'm gonna have to. As he goes up and hits the zombies with the car, gets out, grabs the little girl, pulls her on the car, as the girl's hitting him and kicking him, saying, let me go, don't hurt me, don't eat me, please, leave me alone, please. As Izuku's like, listen, I'm not gonna hurt you, I'm getting you out of here, I'm saving you right now. As he sets her in the passenger seat and starts driving, and his little girl's like, what? You're not gonna hurt me? Sorry if it sounds really cringy, like the voice, like it's not really working for me right now. But yeah, you're not gonna hurt me? No, I'm not. Don't worry about it. I just couldn't leave you there, you know? But we gotta go. I'm gonna go try to find my mother and see if she's okay. Do you know your mother is? She was taken by one of those things. And I see. You don't have to tell me. I get it. Sorry for bringing up that topic. As he's like, you can just fall asleep if you want. As she's like, thank you, mister. Yeah, just fall asleep and I'll get you somewhere safe. As she falls asleep and he keeps driving and he ends up really close to his house. As he drives up and parks in the driving or parking lot and opens the door to his thing, his car, because he took the car, it's his now. But he's like, I can't bring the child in because he doesn't know if something's gotten inside, and if he's a child with him, she's either gonna make them both die because she isn't that strong. Because when I say child, I mean like a 8-year-old child, okay? Not 9-year-old child. But yeah, as Izuku, he goes in the house, and when he walks in, he yells a little bit and says, doesn't yell, but he's a little bit loud, says, Mom? By the way, he locked the door, so you know. The door of the car. He brought the keys with him, though. Sorry, gotta get something to drink. Got some Gatorade. Gatorade, oh, whoops. Gatorade Frost. Oh, no wonder why my throat's hurting. It's a thirst quencher. Well, whatevs. As, Izuku gets in the house and he's a little bit loud and says, "Mom, are you here?" As, he starts looking around the house and finds that some stuff is missing from the house and no one's there. He's like, oh, darn it. As he finds a note on the fridge, because they always leave notes there if they're going somewhere. He's like, his first thought was, let's head to the fridge and check that. As he runs over and finds the fridge and finds a note that says, "Izuku, me and your two siblings," which is actually a girl and a guy, and we're gonna say that the guy is 11, okay? The girl is 16. Yeah, 16. As Izuku, he's like, okay, at least I know that the mother made sure they were okay. As he keeps reading them, and it says, "We have left. We are heading to a safe camp. Meet us at it. The safe camp's coordinates are," insert random coordinates, and I'm just gonna say random coordinates, okay? I don't know what these would actually be, or even if these are coordinates at all, I'm not even sure. -853, 32, and 84. Not sure if that's an actual destination or anything, or if that's even something like coordinates, but let's just go with it, you know. As Izuku's like, "Oh, I'll meet you there. I promise, Mom." As he collects some stuff from the house that he wants to get, like, he doesn't worry about any action figures or anything, but what I mean, like, he grabs his actual sword, the one that he uses, but now he has two swords, like I said. Or, like, he has two swords now. And he collects some food that they left behind, like, the mother packed a bag and everything for him. He even said in the note that she packed a bag for him to take with him. As she's like, "You have to find your own ride, but please meet us there. Be careful, honey." As Izuku's like, I will, Mom." And after he grabs all his stuff, he heads out. As he hears something, he looks over and sees that a zombie is pounding on the window of the car, and it's like you know, like that. It's a pretty good zombie voice in my opinion, but whatevs. As the zombie's doing that, and he's like, "Crap!" As the window is starting to crack, as he's running over there, he's like, "I don't know if I'm gonna make it." As it cracks open, and he's about to grab the zombie, as the zombie's about 2 inches away from the child's face. As Izuku grabs the zombie by its back collar, pulls him and pushes him to the ground. As Izuku, he stabs the zombie in the head. As after a few seconds, he's like, "Well, what did I killed him. What? No. Oh. As he starts hyperventilating, he's like, "Oh, calm down. He's like that, you know? As he falls on his knees and collapses to the ground and passes out, because he's shocked that he just killed someone, that shocked. As he passes out, the girl's like, "No, Mister!" As she gets out of the car and is like, "Mister, wake up! Mister!" As someone walks over to her, and she's like, "Hey, little girl, are you okay?" And let's see what 40. Okay, I was gonna end it there, but I was planning on doing a second one tonight, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be too tired in the morning. I gotta get up early, so I'll just continue it a little bit and make it a little bit over an hour. But she's like, little girl, are you okay? By the way, no, this is not a ship for Deku. It's just a random girl. And by the way, some of you might hate what I'm gonna do later in the series with these two. As Izuku gets picked up by the girl and she brings him to the car and puts him in, and tells the little girl to get in and says, "I'll bring you guys somewhere safe." And the little girl's like, "Okay, just don't hurt Mister." She's like, "Mister? You mean him?" "Yeah." "So you guys don't know each other, huh?" "No, Mister, he saved me from some things that were chasing me after my mother was, well, as she's about to continue, and the lady's like, "Don't worry, I get it." And by the way, the reason why this isn't a ship for Deku is because we'll say the girl's like actually like 30 something, okay? It's one of Inko's friends that lived a little ways away, but she came to check on Inko. Not Inko's friends. The mother's friends that was taking care of Izuku. But yeah. I'll lay down really quick while I'm talking. As Izuku and the little girl and the older girl go, and not Izuku, oh my goodness. The lady brings them to a house, and they get out, and Izuku gets carried in, and all that sweet stuff and everything. I guess Izuku wakes up, and we'll say that when he wakes up in the living room, and he's staring at the ceiling. He's like, "What happens?" As the lady's like, "You're finally awake, huh?" As he gets up, and he's shocked a little bit, as he sees his sword next to him, he grabs it and pulls it out and points it at her and says, "Where am I? Who are you? And oh crap, no, where is she?" Don't worry. The little girl, she's okay. She's actually in the other room, eating. You passed out after, taking down one of those things. I'm surprised that they can even die with the way they are, but apparently they can. But yeah, thanks for proving that to me." She's like, "I killed a person?" "No." "Why?" As she starts tearing up a little bit, and she's like, "That thing was no longer a person. Have you ever watched Zombie Apocalypse? This is exactly what that is." As Zuko's like, "No, it can't be. I had thought earlier, but there's no way. That's science fiction or fan fiction, or I think it's called fan fiction, not science fiction." Whoopsie dipsy. But as Zuko's like freaking out, she slaps him and says, "Pull it together. We have to make sure we're okay and that we get out of here alive." As she says, "I'm a friend of your mother's. We gotta get to that camp that your mother called me on the phone about before the towers went down. The cell phone towers." And Suzuka's like, "Yeah, let's go." As Izuku is about to get ready, and she's like, "Hold on, mister. We have to wait a little bit because we have to collect some resources." As Zuko's like, "You're right." As Zuko, he's like, "I'll go out and collect some in a little bit." As she's like, "Listen, we're going to take the rest of the day off so we can both think about what's going on here, or whatever, I don't know." As she's like, "Yeah, you're right." As they take the day off. Sorry, I'm kind of messing around with a headphone that I'm messing with, and it's wiggling the mic, so I'll try to stop it. I'm gonna still mess with it, but I'll try to stop the wiggling of the mic. Move the mic over a little bit. But as Izuku rests and everything, after they're done resting and everything, and we're gonna say that it becomes nighttime. As the little girl is getting really tired, and she, she's like almost falling asleep, and Izuku's like, okay, oh, he gets up and picks her up and says, where can she sleep? As she's like, just go upstairs, put her in any room up there except for the one that has purple walls. The purple wall room is mine. As Izuku says, okay, I'm gonna sleep in the same room as this little one, so I keep an eye on her. And she's like, the same bed? No, I ain't some kind of weird pedophilic person. That's creepy. By the way, anyone that's been, anything like that, sorry, I didn't mean any offense by it. Let you guys know. Sorry. Now let's continue. She's like, I don't even know how you know my mother. You guys are completely different. You're right. We're completely different, but she is my best friend. She's always been a good person. I bet you can tell that because she adopted you after you know what. Yeah. Izuku but starts walking and says, I'm gonna bring her to her room. Good night. Good night. Have a nice night. As he heads up to his room, and they fall asleep, because we're gonna say that Izuku laid her down, and he was about to leave, but the little girl woke up and says, Mister, I know that you're most likely gonna deny this, but do you think you could sleep with me tonight? As like a father figure, no, nothing weird. And she's like, are you sure you want me to sleep with you? Yeah, I used to sleep with my mother all the time when something scary happened, but I can't do that anymore. And you're the person I trust the most, because you saved me. Izuku's like, okay, I'll sleep with you until you fall asleep. As Zuko goes, and the little girl falls asleep first, and then Izuku does, and they're both sleeping. But we're about to end it. But guess what? Before we do, we're gonna go down to the downstairs after. And by the way, the girl has gone to sleep as well, the older one. As we hear thump, 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 scratch, as the thumping was outside the door, and the scratching was at the door. Scratch, 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 as you hear woof, woof, grr. And that's where we're gonna end it. If you guys have any clue what I'm gonna do with that at the end, what I just did, then comment down below of what you think is gonna come from behind that door. I gave you a big clue, but you will have to figure it out yourselves. If you guys liked it, like, subscribe, and comment. And this is the 100K special series, so yeah. And if the series is a little bit dull today, I'm not in the best of moods today. Just tired and stuff like that. Wasn't sleeping that good last night. So yeah. But that's where I'm going to end it. So I hope that you guys have a nice day and you're safe and all that good stuff. Well, excuse me, I burped. But yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video.